Do you especially want to know how the Mercedes C43 AMG drives? Well, I can tell you more about that. Let's go! Kilometers an hour or 125 miles an hour. That was 100 to 200. Now this next hairpin corner at C, shifting down very well. Cool. That is yo. That's some Autogefuehl for sure. Today the focus on the C43 sedan, which has this new front with the new headlight unit also. The coupe and the convertible always come with LEDs as standard now. And this one here is the optional multi-beam LED, which also has the high beam with LED technology for the best light view. And they've also changed the light signature. 4 meters 68 or 15'3" is the total length of the Mercedes C-Class sedan. Basically the same also with the other versions. The sedan, of course, with the classic roof shape in the rear and 4 doors, as you can see it. The C43 comes automatically with 18-inch rims. Those ones here are the optional 19-inch AMG rims. You can also see it's aerodynamically optimized. It's a wider shaft right there. This improves the aerodynamics. Those wheels here also to the lineup. Pretty spectacular, don't you think so? Then also with a dark cover here for the side mirrors and also around the windows. Overall, it's still a very elegant design. It's not too much. Here the C43 comes with additional small wing lip in the way that it's still elegant, and then the big diffuser in the lower part and those 4 exhaust tips. The outer parts here and the rest part, this is basically just beauty. Well, maybe it also adds a little bit to the sound, but the real exhaust is really way in there behind those tips at all. Then inside of the doors, a lot of leatherette is being used here in the C43, all soft touch. Then, for example, you can get this matte aluminum style in a sporty way. Then the AMG cockpit is defined by this new AMG steering wheel. It's completely new now, with a flat bottom and also with Alcantara at the sides. Basically 2 seats available, a normal sport seat, which comes standard with the C43, but not this one. This one here is the optional bucket seat. You can see it here, integrated head restraint. This is also a slimmer seat with more shoulder support, but take my advice and go with the standard sport seats. They will offer you more long-term comfort. This one is better for the racetrack, but who isn't using the car for the racetrack, then you also don't need to go for this option, can save the money. Also, the standard sport seats come then with an interesting combination of microfiber Dynamica on the inside and outside Artico leatherette, which is cool. This one here has also animal skin leather parts, this seat here. Then headroom, plenty, it's no problem. When you have the panoramic roof, a small one is available here, then it will be a little bit less. This new steering wheel also has an electric control. The biggest product update change is the infotainment system, or the screens in general, for all C-Class models. And it starts on the left side with analog gauges and 5-inch screen in the middle, and on the right side with a smaller 7-inch screen. And this one here is the maximum setup with 12.3 inch on the left all digital instruments. And on the right side then you get those 10.25 inch screen, a widescreen format, also then with new software. Overall, if you take a look, is a horizontal stress of the dashboard. So here again, it looks a little bit Porsche-like even, because they wrap everything really tightly. Then with those 3 characteristic air vents, it looks really stylish and sensual. Here with carbon fiber decor. Now let's get to the rear compartment. So, well, legroom wise, the seat should be a little bit higher, that I can better put my feet under the seat, but it's quite okay. You can see it's a mid-size sedan. That's not too much, but also not little, so it's actually okay. Of course, mid-size sedans are not the ones that use the legroom in their very best way. And you can see, well, it's not an estate, of course, you cannot load things in that easily, but here, standard cabin trolley can also be put right through. It raises a little bit, so you can use it, yes. That's not the most versatile one. And now, what's powering this thing? Ta-da! This is not the one, you know, the true AMG one man, one engine concept. So it's basically a works AMG engine, which is produced in a normal Mercedes plant. For the C43, you get this one here, the 3-liter V6 petrol. Now with 390 horsepower. That's 23 horsepower more than the pre-facelift. So actually pretty much tuned now. 4.7 seconds to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour is the acceleration figure. If you want it even faster, then you would need the 4-liter V8 of the C63. So this one here does not get the new inline 6 yet with the 48 volt board and the mild hybrid. This one is still rather the classic layout. So before I tell you everything else with driving, it's an AMG, so let's floor it out. Kilometers an hour or 125 miles an hour. That was 100 to 200 or 60 miles to 125 miles. Wow. The advantage is that you still have a normal mid-size vehicle, but then sportly tuned. So you're also very well in control. So it's a little bit easier to drive than, for example, with a true sports car. A little bit, less nervous, I would say. And also with the all-wheel drive, really good in control always. I really like the new suspension setup. So if you ask me what's the biggest difference if you compare it pre-facelift and now the facelift version, the suspension is actually soft, comfortable, great view here to the Mosel River. So it's somewhat soft and sporty at the same time. You really don't have that often. So really, really cool. Now this next hairpin corner at sea. Shifting down very well. Cool. That is That's some Autogefuehl for sure. So enjoy those corners with me. Natural steering feeling, really nice. Driving uphill should be even more fun. think when we finish this short part, we just turn it around and drive uphill, then you'll also hear something more of the sound. Steering, you know, I've experienced that quite often with Mercedes, is good and really natural. To me, it could be a little bit more progressive, that you don't have to steer that much, but that's also, you know, I think it's rather preference. You know, some like to steer a little bit more, some like it a little bit more progressive. What about you? Tell me in the comments. But really great fun vehicle. So, and the C43 is indeed my favorite of this lineup because it's sporty, but still you remain a certain comfort, especially when you go with the normal base sport seats. It looks good, or it looks sporty, but it's not too much, you know, and still everyday capable with this all-wheel drive. And now I'll turn around and just go up this hill once more again for you. Probably this will be even more fun. Turn it around here with the automatic gearbox, shifting you on the right side. The guys driving behind me probably want to hear, what is this guy doing now? So what you would rather have with the C63 is that, you know, the rear end slides out a little bit more. So that's, you know, for more skilled drivers probably, but then again, for public roads, of course it doesn't make so much sense because you always have to think about safety. So this is really a very cool setup that you can have a lot of driving fun, but at the same time remain with this rather safe all-wheel drive and good distribution. You have definitely a rear wheel bias. You're more pushed from behind and you're pulled in the front, that's for sure. And I mean, you could also, you know, with the Sport Plus mode here, already the stability control is drawn back a little bit, so you can play around with the car a little bit more. But when I accelerate out of the corners, I still feel that I'm also having a little bit torque on the front wheels. So it's not, of course, a purest sports car, but so much fun and such a great control. And you definitely feel this power upgrade it has received. You're now at those 390 horsepower, so it's definitely more powerful than the predecessor, or let's say the pre-facelift version. And also, you know, the whole tuning of the engine. It's not one of those very new engines yet, so it's rather classic one, so no 48 volt board net, but it still does really a tremendous job. Wow. So now to our conclusion for today with Mercedes C-Class facelift in general, and especially the C43 sedan, the Mercedes-AMG. Well, this one here is truly a dream mid-size sedan, no doubt. Exterior, very elegant styling. Well, the rear, I'm more favor with the coupe and the convertible versions for sure. On the interior, a very good build quality. You also get nice sustainable seats from the base setup if you like. And this new infotainment system layout, it's optional, you do not have to go for it. It's also again extra in the price, but you know, it's a useful upgrade for sure if you want something more fancy, but still no touchscreen. I think, you know, it's about time, and they show that, you know, with the new MBUX. We've seen it in the new Mercedes Sprinter and the new Mercedes A-Class, and will also come to the other models bit by bit. But here, obviously, you know, the whole system was obviously not ready for it, or they didn't want to invest so much money in the facelift here. Driving-wise, I think it's even a little bit more comfortable than the one before. So the one before was a little bit rougher, maybe suspension-wise. Here they've tuned this adaptive suspension that it both gives you comfort and also the very sporty ride, and it's a very fun ride and a great sound for sure. You don't need an 8-cylinder to have a great sound here. The 6-cylinder does a very good job, and it's also not a big problem that it's not handmade by one person. Really does a good job. And considering it is a performance car and performance engine, the consumption is still relatively okay if we compare it also with other vehicles. Price-wise, by the way, standard C-Class starts about 30,000 euros or $30,000. And this one here, C43, about 60. So this one then double the price, gets really expensive. With some more extras, the top infotainment even more, 70 at least, 75. That gets really expensive. So a better price performance here would be a C300 or a C400 then. Maybe get it then with the AMG line for the looks. Then you also get my favorite diamond pin grille still. So that one would be my advice actually. And you know, to have a better price performance ratio and still have a very decent version. Again, if you want it more versatile, check out the estate version. We'll sure deliver you some more content as well. And we also have content on the coupe and the convertible. You can check that out on Autogefuehl too. What do you think about those facelift changes and in general about the C43? Is that one your favorite of the C-Class? Tell me in the comments, and also tune in next time.